Okay, okay. Can I? Oh, no, not that one. Okay. Oh, wait. No. Here we go. All right. As you see in the title, schools are closing due to the rise in the fear of this pandemic. 16, pardon me, 16 million. 16 million are currently on quarantine in Italy. Okay? So I'm not sure how many people are actually doing research on it, but I'll bring it to you. Okay? Hold on. Here we go. 16 million. And then put Italy. Right there. See? There you go. You know what? And see, my computer is acting up at this point in time. So, of course, you know, when you try to get things going right so you can get this information out, you know there's going to be a problem. There's always a problem. But it's okay. It's okay. We learn how to bear, don't we? Don't we learn how to bear, people? Okay. You gotta learn how to bear. You gotta learn how to get through it. So, as we learn how to get through it, schools are closed. Okay. I constantly have people, or I have this one person that likes to come in and ask me, how's work? Work's going good. How's work going for you? How's work going for these 16 million people that are under forced quarantine? Right there. You see it? Schools are closed. Now, remember, this started off in China. And now it's in Italy. We have cases in America. If you have not realized that this could possibly be the end game, then you must not have been doing the research, or you must not be believing the stuff that I'm showing you. But that's up to you. At this point in time, I like to make these streams to let everyone know that the judgments of God is befalling the planet. And if you're not one of those people that actually care, then you could get lost in the shuffle. Okay? 1.3 million views one day ago. Then for some reason, as if it doesn't get any worse than that, schools are out. There's schools shutting down due to the virus in the West Coast. Okay? So this is becoming a global pandemic, a global epidemic, and people tend to I guess continue on their day or worry about their materialistic endeavors, okay, or their social media. All right, but to show you what's happening upon the planet, I would like to go to Mr. Wilcox. Now, some of y'all may not know who Mr. Wilcox is. Hold on. In fact, just in case you don't know who Mr. Wilcox is, I want to show you who Mr. Wilcox is. Mr. Wilcox is... Oh, Mr. Wilcox. Sorry. This is a gentleman of Caucasian persuasion, okay, and his family, if they, okay, oh, all right. Well, his wife looks like that, okay. He's very. This is the gentleman right here. You can go to YouTube. You could check him out, okay. David Wilcock. And the reason I'm bringing him up is to let you know how bad this place was at one point. Okay? Hold on, give me a second. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, cause I had to fix the volume. Hold on. Please, bear with me.
Power off. Power on. Bluetooth connected.
Okay. Sorry about that. I just, because you have to hear it. Okay. So, you should have had this. What? Let's go. Come on. Right here. All right. Now, David Wilcock is a UFO observer, or an alien enthusiast. Okay? So, yeah, we can say that possibly he's making this up, or he's coming out of his backside with this stuff. But my thing is, what if he isn't? Because I'm one of them people that actually want to lean to the side of the underdog. Because we have a lot of people nowadays running around with this theory of fake news. We have these people walking around here telling you that you don't know everything. Now, my last stream, someone told me that scientists are nuts. So not only am I nuts, but the scientists are nuts. So what I'm wondering is, what ideology do they go by? What the heck do they believe in? They can't say they believe in reality, because scientists test the theory of reality. They want to see where stuff is made from. They want to understand the environment. So if the scientists are nuts and they're trying to understand the environment, and I'm telling you of things to come that was already written down in the Bible, and you're telling me I'm nuts for that, and they're nuts for studying and doing experiments, where do you stand? Just a question. But back to business. Yes, David Wilcock is a man of European or Caucasian persuasion. Okay, hold on, let's go back to him. And this man has came out forwardly and said that there's a possibility, actually not even a possibility. He has a full-fledged story of black aliens. Now, you may say, "Oh my God, black aliens! What are they going to do to us? They're here. They're gonna carve us up." Okay, but for some reason, the story that he tells of the black alien is peaceful. Now, that may be a shocker to most racists, because some racists be actually thinking that, black people like to rob, smoke weed, and steal women. Okay, but I implore you to, do some research, and you'll find out for yourself that is an artificial mindset bestowed upon an organic people. So, hold on, and let's see what Mr. Wilcock has to say about black people.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Dave. How you guys doing?
Doing good, Chris.
Well, I have a question for David in terms of reading his new book, The Ascent of Mysteries, which I'm very enjoying very much.
Thanks.
And one of the chapters was Nikola Tesla, the Pete Peterson and Nikola Tesla Black Ops.
Yep.
One of them is about Black Jesus, where there's a ascended being appearing in Africa.
Yep.
And I just want to know if you know any more information you would share with us, because I thought that was very captivating to me, and I just wanted more information on it.
Yeah, the Black Jesus story. The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. It came from my insider, Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds and still does, and also is a whistleblower who doesn't really do what they want but continues to work for them because he feels like there's some very serious extraterrestrial threats to Earth and that what they're doing is very necessary to protect us. So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was...
Where's the story of these white guys like that? Where's the story of the Caucasians like that? Now, mind you, look at the screen. It says July 31st, 2017. So what gets me is, if he had powers complementary to that of Jesus, wouldn't he be trying to walk around here and make a profit off of it? Wouldn't he be showing people what kind of a magician he is? Or would he be using his powers for malicious intent? Would he be looking to deceive and win over the masses by his energy and his power? Let's go.
Performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say.
Now, my thing is, David Wilcock is a white guy. Now, yeah, we can say, oh well, he's just a theologist, a theologian, okay? But he's actually coming with a story like this. So, would he mess up all his credibility? Meanwhile, this man is based off of lectures and book writing. He would need to make sure he keeps his fan base. So if he comes with a BS story like this, no one's going to believe him. No one's going to want to hear it. They're going to say, wait, are you trying to tell me that nigger's Jesus? Hold on. Let me rewind it. And I implore you, do your own research on David Wilcock. And let me know if he's bugged out too. Because scientists at this point, and someone told me in my last stream, scientists are bugged out. They're saying I'm bugged out. And now they hear the story from this guy, he's bugged out. So all I'm bringing is bugged out information, right? I'm putting a gun to these people's heads, possibly, which I'm not. But, just for the trolls, I'm putting a gun to these people's heads, and I'm getting them to transform into idiots and spew rhetoric that'll back up my theories, right? Okay, let's go.
My insider, Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds and still does, and also is a whistleblower who doesn't really do what they want but continues to work for them because he feels like there's some very serious extraterrestrial threats to Earth and that what they're doing is very necessary to protect us. So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa.
Hold on. In the 1960s. My problem is, in my last stream, I showed you a comedian that said it's okay for Caucasians to go back in time to the year 2, and they wouldn't have a problem. But black people couldn't go back to nothing past the year 1980 in fear of racism. Okay? All right, hold on. He just said that this guy was out in 1960s. Let's go.
And with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him. And, they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would...
Wait, what? This guy was in Africa in the 1960s. He showed powers or energy similar to that of Jesus. But because he was black and in Africa, the cabal... Who's the cabal? the cabal, they came out with their AK-47s. They sent out their military troops and they said, shoot this man in the head. Now, he actually has a story where they actually shot him in the head. Let's go. Hold on. Let's go.
Grow back, and the cabal tried to kill him, and, you know, they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. And, you know, so the crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed.
A white man could be killed because he was telling you that an African man that was pretty much dang near immortal was helping out other African people, and they sent a troop down there to eradicate him. So this story was never supposed to get out. He said that he could have been killed for telling this, but he wrote it in a book. And someone heard him having the interview on a radio station. They called in and they asked him to go a little bit more in depth into the story that he wrote in the book. What does this all mean? What does this all mean? Why is coronavirus here? Why is the locust here? Why is all this stuff happening? Due to hatred, due to greed. This man was not bothering nobody. This was in the 1960s. Now you have a badge and a gun, and these people are just airing anything out. They're just shooting. Okay? So where I'm coming from is, why is all these things bestowing the planet at this point in time? Racism. Well, hatred, because racism falls under hatred. So hatred and greed. That's what I put the synopsis, that it's hatred and greed, that the earth is now being judged. Okay? He had powers complementary to that of Jesus. That's what this white man said. His name is David Wilcock. Go do some research on him. Okay? Because some people told me that the scientists are nuts. They're telling me I'm nuts. Then I give them news or news reports, and they're telling me that it's fake news. Okay? As you read the title, school's out. Schools are shutting down due to this virus. In Sacramento, they shut down the school. And right after they shut down the school, they quarantine. Okay? I'm letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Okay? So what happened was, in Italy, they shut down the school in fear of the virus, and next thing you knew, 16 million Italians were forced quarantine. The planet is about to be quarantined. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to let you know. I'm here to also let you know that the word of God is enacting upon the planet, okay, due to greed and hatred. Okay, so hold on. Let's go back. Because mind you, this guy was in Africa. He wasn't trying to conquer no white land. He wasn't trying to take over no corporation. He wasn't trying to build a church. Okay, he was in the 1960s. He was in Africa. He was just trying to teach other black people how they could become like him. And the cabal, the cabal came over and said, you know what? We're going to stop this. We're not going to have a whole bunch of Negroes running around here with superpowers. That just sounds crazy. We're not dealing with that. Oh, no. And they sent the peoples. Okay? Hold on. Now, this is David Wilcock. This is a white man. You can say that, well, maybe he's got a black wife. Do the research. I already checked out. He's got a white family. So what secrets are they hiding? That he said that he could have been killed for telling this story. And you call me paranoid? What am I paranoid about? I don't have to live in fear. I'm letting you know that judgment's here, and you better get right with God. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell you this for a while now. Check it out.
And, you know, they could shoot him in the head, and his skull would just regenerate, and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. And, you know, so the crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. and I ended up putting it in the book anyway. But the story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight.
Look. After the 40 acres and a mule, they promise you a 40 acres and a mule, you never get it. Check this. They sent a hit squad to shoot this dude. Shot him in the head. He came back to life, regenerated his skull or whatever. So they said, dang, we can't kill him from afar. Let's see if we could kill him from up close. But how are we going to get up to him? Oh, we'll make a deal with him. We'll give him a contract. We'll tell him that we'll walk him to the UN, to the United Nations, so he can spread his message of peace. Check it. His message of peace. So they knew he was about peace. Check it.
They finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically
that part. Yeah, that part. That's what race has to do with it. That part. Who's the cabal? Who's the elite? Who's the secret government that would have went down to Africa to shoot this other man, right? Since we're not going to do other colors, right? Let's just pretend that a Hispanic, a Latino man, or maybe a Caucasian man went down there with powers similar to that of Jesus to heal Africa, right? Let's just pretend that, right? Okay, so he went down there, and then people that look like him said, hey, wait, what are you doing? Why are you saving the Africans? And they decided to shoot him in the head too? Come on. That's what the color has to do with it. They seen someone out there, African, teaching other Africans how to regenerate their skulls, okay? And they was like, whoa, stop that, okay? And they said, oh, well, you know what? We can't snipe you. We can't hit you from afar. So, you know what? Come with us. We'll give you whatever you want. You can spread your message, okay? Then as soon as you got in the car, as soon as you got in the airplane, they locked you down. Then they had some other guy with an automatic, okay? Unloading to you. Just shooting. Then they wanted to cut your body up. Check it. Look, I didn't make this story. This is a story. Now, what's the benefit of this story? And if you haven't check out Michael Bradley, check out Michael Moore, and there's the notes out. The notes out. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of white guys now saying, hey, you got to watch out for us white people. So I'm not being racist. There's no reason for me to be racist, but who's the one controlling wars? In fact, I've argued, because I heard this. I was playing Grand Theft Auto. Now, if anybody plays Grand Theft Auto, heck, Call of Duty nowadays, and you let your mic just go on, you'll hear random people just come out and say, nigger, nigger, nigger. You're like, whoa. So racism's out there. But I was like, I got on one time and I said, look, stop saying nigger. How come y'all are always the first ones to be racist? How come you're always saying nigger? I was fought back with, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have freedom. We fought for y'all. And I was like, wow, that's a mighty big concept coming from someone that stole the people. Are you kidding me? Wait, okay, what slave do you know willingly hands themselves over and says, I'll be a slave? Okay. So that's where we're at with this slavery thing. That's where we're at with what this race stuff got to do with it. Because who's the violent race? What race is violent enough to take a peaceful man that's teaching other people how to become peaceful, try to snipe him at first, they couldn't kill him, and then they had to make an agreement with him, a false agreement, just so they can do this.
The bandsaw, I guess, and the skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. And, so the crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed, and I ended up putting it in the book anyway. But the story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the...
Why did they have a radioactive shielded container? Now, from what we're taught, we're supposed to stay away from radiation anyway. But then you also have that you got that comic book character, that figure, that Stan Lee creation that got bombarded with gamma radiation and transformed into a monster. So why would they chop this being up, this creature, this man, this person, whatever you want to call him, and put him into radioactive shielded containers? What? That just don't make sense to me. I want to say that too. You're totally right. Every race has racism or racist people. My deal is, what race causes more violence with their racism? White people or other nations, nationalities, ethnicities have no problem walking through the ghetto or the hood. That's just like they just stand out like a sore thumb. You're like, wow, what's that person doing here? But when other nationalities, or when black people get to other neighborhoods, you can feel the disdain. I'm speaking from my own personal experiences. Okay, you can feel the isolation, or you can feel the awkwardness. Okay, you get the weird looks, so you get the whereas it happens so on a norm. And I'm in the hood. You can't tell me. All right? I see it. So when I go to a rich neighborhood or something like that, for one, there's not that many people walking around because they got cars. So I'm already going to feel outcasted. So if you don't have a car and you're there for no reason, yeah, you're going to feel like you don't belong. For one. For two, if there is somebody walking down the block, they're going to look at me awkward like, you're a stranger. What are you doing here? Or they may actually move to the other side of the street. So, who does more with their racism? Who's more violent with their racism? Now, back to the story. This ain't about me. You can find all flaws you want in my story or whatever. But this is about this man. He was teaching people how to eat. Okay, he wasn't out there with a gun. He wasn't trying to shoot people in the head and see if their skulls could regenerate or anything. You see what? Come on, people. Come on. So where's the racism? Who has more racism? And who does more damage with their racism and prejudice? All right, let's go.
Plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices.
Okay. So now somebody is sitting there saying, okay, this guy came back, right? Yeah, okay. All right. My thing is, y'all done did all that to him. You done sniped him, gave him a headshot. You done shot his body up. You done carved him up, burnt his body, and he came back. And you would think he would have came back with an armada. You would have thought he would have came back with an arsenal. I know I would have. I would have came back with some stuff for you, boy. I went, what? I was minding my business, and you came over here and did this to me. Okay, let's see what he has to say, though.
Fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
That's your ass, boy. That's your ass, boy. Because once we hear from that dude, yo, they done shot me, they done did this. And not to mention the way regular people live. You're just like, wait, when is this racism stuff going to turn? When are we going to get over this racism? So just like he said, you guys really so badly don't want me here. I'm not going to stay. Why wouldn't they want him there? If this world is based off of peace and somebody keeps coming in here typing, I'm living in fear. You're living in fear. If I'm living in fear, why wouldn't they want this guy here to keep peace? Huh? They met him with aggression. Who met him with aggression? Let me guess. The Magic Johnson and the Lakers, right? Or was it Wilt Chamberlain? Huh? Maybe Julius Erving and the Sixers? Or maybe Jordan and the Bulls? Who met this guy and said, let's double tap him in the back of the skull? Oh, shoot. His skull regenerated. Okay. And you already heard what he said. Okay. Just in case you didn't hear what he said. Just in case.
You guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
That's your ass.
Wow.
That's your ass. That's your ass. That's your ass. So, just like old boy said, for now, hold on. I could put him on too. In fact, I'm not even wasting my time with him. I'm just letting you know that's why I believe that this virus or this sickness that's going around is a plague from God, especially at the same time with the locusts on the planet and the burning down of a lot of trees from California to the Amazon to Australia, and people come in, this is normal stuff. Why are you bringing this up? They've been through this all the time, and they always go through this. Yeah, you can say it all you want, but their news reporters and their citizens are saying that this is stuff that they've never seen before. So it could be regular everyday occurrence to you, but this is new to them. All right, this is very new to them. What I can't fathom or what I can't wrap around my head is this virus that was quarantined. I mean, Wuhan locked down quick, real quick. How did it spread globally? Even through lockdown, even through quarantine, this thing is still spreading. Okay. First, they shut down a school or some schools in Italy. Then they quarantined 16 million. So what they do first is they'll tell you, all right, keep the children home. All right. You'll keep the children home in fears of it's spreading. Then they quarantine the whole area. Okay. So you're now about to watch a planet under quarantine. A large portion. And what also gets me is you don't find a problem with, we just pretty much got to this year. We're still like in the beginning parts of this year, 2020. You're not bothered. It doesn't shock you that quarantine is like a household word now, outbreak or pandemic or Center for Disease Control or WHO, World Health Organization. None of this stuff is bothering you. You okay? You okay? Yo, B, you all right? All right, yo? You bugged out. Hold on. So, look, this was 2017. If you don't have to believe me, okay? You don't have to believe me. I don't know David Wilcock, okay? Well, David Wilcock has a white wife. He's a white man. So I don't understand why a Caucasian person or a person of Caucasian persuasion would be sitting here telling me about a black Jesus. I don't understand. And then, not to mention, him telling me what that black Jesus went through. Getting shot in the head. Do you want to be shot in the head? I don't want to be shot. So what kind of person wants to be shot in the head? And then for you to be shot in the head, okay? Then you come back and then somebody else wants to, okay, no. We're sorry for all the harm we caused you. Come with us and we'll take you to the United Nations. The United Nations, okay? After I promise you to take you to the United Nations, you follow me and then I air you out again. Okay. All right, so that's why now you're starting to see these type of things on the planet. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Is that? Oh, check this out. Look. I'm not writing this. America is being sold to China at a bad time like this. Why? Why would China even want to? China has so much problems of its own. Are they instituting eminent domain? Possibly. Let's check.
Are you tired of the media spinning the truth and pushing false narratives? Well, take a look at this. Over the last 3 years, while the establishment media was pushing false narratives and uncorroborated evidence, we investigated and shed light on some of the deepest government corruption in this nation. Something that makes...
Wait. Fake news. That's my problem, too. So who's fake news? Because that guy was just sitting there talking about, are you tired of the media taking advantage of you? So he's saying that the media is fake news. But if I bring his news to you, you're telling me that he's fake news. But then if I use them, you're saying Fox News is fake news. So who's the real news here? Huh? Where do you do your research? And then someone told me that scientists are nuts. So if I'm nuts, scientists are nuts, and we don't know what the real news is, where do you do your research? And when do you do your research? Do you just go outside and feel a tree? Do you pick up a leaf and eat it? Do you pick up pebbles and chew them? What do you do? Huh?
Manufacturing jobs we did even 30 years ago. In coastal cities, housing has become astronomically expensive. Prices are rising far quicker than wage growth. And most tragically, an opioid epidemic kills tens of thousands of Americans every year. One of the chief reasons for that is a synthetic opioid called fentanyl. It's smuggled in from abroad. Now, these might seem like unrelated problems, but they're not. A single theme unites them: a systematic decision by many of our country's most powerful leaders to sell out America to China. Those jobs that were outsourced, they went to China. Those rising home prices, all cash Chinese buyers are a major contributor to that, though it's almost never said out loud. Fentanyl, made in China, with the knowledge and tacit approval of the Chinese Communist Party.
Okay, so who's racist? That's what I'm trying to understand. These people got Chinese restaurants. they own property. But you as a black person, if you try to sell drugs, you're under arrest. Okay? Now, unless you do it right and then you're hiding in the corner somewhere. But who's the racist ones here? Because everybody got land. Everybody owns something here except for a race. One race. Okay? No. Okay. I'll take that back. A few races. Okay? 2 or 3 races out of how many other races that own stuff and are running things? Okay? Now, why would Fox News, fake news, or whatever you want to call them, put America is being sold to China in midst of a China initiated flu? Huh? What? And they're quarantined. So what would they want? What are they going to do in America? Huh? I would think that they would start using. I heard that some, if not most, of our state parks are owned by China already. The state parks. So when I show you that game, Homefront, and you see Korea coming over and locking down San Francisco, okay? Because that's what that game was about. Homefront was about Red Dawn happening in San Francisco. I believe Red Dawn, the movie, took place in California. Not too certain, but you should check these movies out. These are movies that they already made. That's you. That's you. If you choose to sit there and play Mario or play Instagram or whatever you're playing, that's you. But these things have already been laid out. You've already had your chance to learn the warning. Now, if you don't look at it as a warning, maybe you look at it as propaganda. Maybe you look at it as fake news or whatever you're looking at it as it comes upon you, you start understanding how real it is. Like now, there's people out there making fun of this virus. They say, "Oh, you know what coronavirus is? Having a corona without a lime or whatever." You hear what I mean? Like, and this is what they used to do with the Spanish flu. You know, the kids would make light of it. I once had a bird. Her name was Enza. I opened the window and influenza, and the Black Death song, Ring Around the Rosie. You see, people play with it until they get it, and then that's when they want to sit there and pray to God. But then it's too late at that point. You should have took precautionary measures, such as staying away or washing your hands. Hey, do you know people don't wash their hands for 15 seconds? That's the actual allotted time that the CDC said to do it for. They said count to 15 or sing Old MacDonald to yourself or Happy Birthday. That's actual cleanliness. These people are now just wetting their hands. They'll squirt some soap, lather up, wash the lather off, and walk out. That was like, what, 5 seconds? I mean, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. It's a menial amount. They ain't washed none of the diseases off. You're getting touched by dingleberries and germ hair, okay? And nobody cares. Nobody cares. And then they go right back to the kitchen and make your food. So this is where we're at. So don't sit there and say, why is everything about race? And you think this virus is from God? And look, this is stuff that's actually becoming out of our control. They had the the vice president, Mike Pence, praying. And then after he prayed, there was people out there making fun of him praying. Is praying that bad nowadays that we can't pray? If I pray, there's something wrong with it, but you have nothing wrong with a person saying they're gay? If they have a right to them living their lifestyle, why is there a problem with me telling you that there's something after this life and we should get in order with it? Huh? What's wrong with that? I don't understand. I really don't.
China is no longer simply an economic rival to the United States. It's becoming a dangerous enemy. But instead of protecting us from this threat, an existential one, our leadership class collaborates with the other side. Why do they do that? Simple, they're getting rich from it. This only became clear to many people a few months ago when the most American of all sports, professional basketball, a game literally invented in a gym in Springfield, Massachusetts, ripped off the mask and showed the world who really controls the league. NBA General Manager Daryl Morey, you'll remember, wrote a tweet supporting pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. In the resulting backlash, the NBA and Morey both apologized for daring to criticize China's fascist regime. And then LeBron James weighed in and explained to us that actually freedom of speech in America is vastly overrated.
So many people could have been harmed, not only financially, but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do, even though, yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that, too.
Okay. Obviously, because if I start talking about God, I'm a nut job or whatever, okay? So now they gotta respect China. Whereas China doesn't have to respect us. Now I remember in Mr. President's campaign run, he was talking about how he was going to have China cave into us, and that we've been spending too much money with China, and that this trade deal with China is going to make China pay us back, and all this stuff about China. Well, now he's pretty quiet about China, and China's rubbing elbows with Putin. And I remember a few months ago, in fact, that's what kind of started me on this stream. That's what started my channel. The fact that there was an accusation out there that said that the president was in cahoots with the opposition. So now, not me. It's not me. I'm not saying this. You're hearing it on the news. He just said that America is working with the opposition. Hold on, just in case, because I'm sure there's people in here that's saying Trump 2020, and you're like, wait a minute, are you sure? Hold on.
It became clear to many people a few months ago when the most American of all, China is no longer simply an economic rival to the United States. It's becoming a dangerous enemy. But instead of protecting us from this threat, an existential one, our leadership class collaborates with the other side.
Okay.
Why do they do that?
Working with the ops. Set tripping. Working with the ops. Set tripping. Yeah. Y'all, you down with this? Remember, he said there's maybe the calm before the storm. They said, what storm, Mr. President? He said, you'll find out. He's not telling you nothing. He ain't telling you nothing. It's working with the ops, shaking hands. Okay? Let's go.
They're getting rich from it. This only became clear to many people a few months ago when the most American
I don't even want to hear LeBron no more. I don't want to hear LeBron.
Warriors coach Steve Kerr, meanwhile, explained that there's really no moral difference between America and communist China.
It has not come up in terms of people asking me about it, people discussing it. No.
Is the Chinese Communist Party lying about the coronavirus? Our staff has been breaking stories.
Thank you. Just in case y'all done forgot that China's the meaning behind this virus, so they're the reason. Hey, you know what else I found out? And maybe you should do the research on too. You should also check out the fact that China is behind the original Spanish flu. China, they said they didn't understand where it came from or where the illness came from. They thought it was a more modified version of Ebola, but they learned that it was H1N1, swine flu. And that's where they're starting to say it could have originated over in China. So after me doing my research, you could say that I'm, just rambling on, or I'm buckethead crazy or whatever, but do your research and maybe you'll find out that maybe China could be home of the pandemics. Maybe. Okay. Maybe. No, I don't want to go with China labs. See, you're right, because I've seen the lab of modern era, and it does look like the umbrella sign. So yeah, maybe. But this was way back. This was like in 1918. So where did the Black Plague come from? No one knows where the Black Plague came from. Did it come from Africa? Was it black people just spreading the plague? I highly doubt that, seeing as the fact that it's spread across Europe like wildfire. But I digress. I pull myself back, and let's go on. And just like I said, just realize that this virus came from China. So now China's crippled, and China's now crippling America. It's starting to want to cripple America. Because why are our athletes paying any homage to China? What? Are you kidding? Am I bugged out? Why would any of our athletes be paying homage to China? Okay, let's go.
Nor has our record of human rights abuses come up either. People in China didn't ask me about, people owning AR-15s and mowing each other down in a mall.
Yeah, so America has school shootings. China is on its third or fourth genocide since World War II. You know, tomato, tomato.
And wait a minute. Okay, I know we do some sick stuff over here. I know. Lord knows I know. I've done seen the videos. I've done seen all sorts of videos. I know we do some sick stuff over here. But I never seen any of us take the initiative to go hunt for an octopus and sashimi it or kill it while it's alive and then eat it. Who does that? Who does that? An octopus. And yes, I said an octopus. I sure did. That's some things that be swimming at the very bottom of the ocean. You know, you don't know what they're eating, okay? And then you eat it alive. You eat it alive. I seen them sashimi a frog. Sashimi means to carve up while it's alive and put it in some steaming hot water, and you can eat it. That's what sashimi is. Okay? Look at old boy face. I wish. All right. So I know, like I said, I know we do some sick stuff here, like NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association. What? Who does that? Okay, but that's sick over there too. I wouldn't want no bat suit. Wait, come on. You see? That's artificial stuff. In my lowest, hungriest point, and I never really went to that rock bottom place yet, that dark spot in your soul. But you know, in my light mind, or actually I can't even say I'm in my highlight mind, but right there in the middle, I can at least look at my dark side and say, I know you would never. Could you imagine yourself eating some bat? Come on. And that's a taste that sounds like it had to be acquired. Not to mention, as a child, who gave you some bat soup that made you grow up older and say, hey, I want to taste bat? This is their eating delicacies. This is what they do over there. All right. But that's what I'm saying. Why are we paying homage to them? Why do we have to apologize to them? They make enough fun of us as Americans as it is. Americans, so arrogant and cocky. They say hot dog, hot dog, hamburger. What? This is where we're at. Those people we have to apologize to. Okay.
Whatever.
Human rights abuses come up. Either people in China didn't ask me about, people owning AR-15s and mowing each other down in a mall.
Yeah, so America has school shootings. China is on its third or fourth genocide since World War II. You know, tomato, tomato. 6 dozen 1, whatever. Yeah. Saying something out like that out loud should be shocking, but it's not really. It's a taste of just how completely the people in charge identify with China over this country. In some cases, they've literally joined China's payroll. Former Illinois Senator Mark Kirk, for example, is a registered foreign agent who lobbies for
joining China's payroll. Well, look at that. If they're joining China's payroll, the reason I started this channel, like I said, a whole year ago, was off of the accusations and the claims that the president was in collusion with Russia. So now we have the other people falling in line with China. Would that make America communist? Just asking. If there's too many ties in with other communist parties, what does that make you? If you're a Crip and you're dapping Bloods, what does that make you? A Crip that, no, I'm just a Crip that has connections. Nah, my dude. Nah. Where I'm from, I remember in my time that was called set tripping. What? Okay? So I don't understand this. I don't understand this. When you're for America, you're supposed to be for America. You ain't supposed now. Yeah, you got to make some deals and you got to keep some treaties or some stuff like that. But we're now actually just falling in league with them. Okay, and this is a pretty dicey time. See, probably like 5 years ago. It was a few years back. I don't remember directly when. Okay. It was a few years back when the cataclysm started happening on the other side of the world. They started getting earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff like that. This was like around when Obama was in. But actually, even before him, anytime that part of the world would have a problem, they would get American aid. They would get American aid. So now, if these people are being paid off by China or Russia, why would they be giving them their currency for? Are they working with them? Are they planning to put in legislation with them? Where are they at? Why are they down to do this? Okay.
U.S. Exchange Foundation, that's a Chinese organization with ties to the Communist Party, a former senator. Former Senator Joe Lieberman works for another Chinese company, ZTE. What's ZTE? Well, ZTE is so dangerous to American interests that last August, the president signed a bill banning the federal government from using that company's equipment because it's too threatening. But he's lobbying for him. Former Congressman Rick Boucher, meanwhile, has lobbied for a whole list of Chinese companies, including Hikvision, Huawei, and the search engine Baidu. But China isn't content buying off our retired lawmakers. They're also targeting people who have jobs that matter right now. Last night on this program, we told you about a man called Yu Meng. He's the chief investment officer at California's massive state-run pension fund called CalPERS. Meng, who was born in China and moved here at the age of 25, previously ran China's $3 trillion portfolio of foreign investments. CalPERS has long engaged in shareholder activism to advance left-wing causes in this country, like gun control, and been very aggressive about it. But now the fund also supports China's efforts to eclipse America. CalPERS invests in companies that supply the Chinese military, literally. They're also invested in Hikvision, which makes the surveillance.
Is this fake news too? Am I fake news for bringing this to you? Huh? Why is all our money going into China and its military? Why? Why would that possibly be? Huh? Is it the people that was supporting or funding America, they see that America's not headed for good times, so they took out all their money and now they're putting it and investing it somewhere else? And what kills me, or what gets me also, is the fact that with China in a state of emergency, as well as most of the globe, why is this even something to look at? Could it possibly be for the fact that China was building land down in the South Sea, the South China Sea? They're building land down there, and they built a man-made air base. So could that possibly have something to do with it? Why would you build a man-made air base? Now, I've already seen the videos. I already know why they would build it, but I'm asking you, Soldier Boy. I'm asking you, why would they do that? Why? Why would they actually decide to say, hey, you know what? We're going to build a man-made island off the South Sea just in case anybody messes with us. Okay? Okay.
Equipment that China uses to monitor ethnic minorities like the Uyghurs. So they're actively abetting fascism. There's nothing harmless about these investments. As Yu Meng himself once noted, quote, "Of course it empowers the Chinese regime to have the money flowing in," end quote. Of course it does, but they did it anyway. When Meng worked for China's investment fund, he was recruited by the 1,000 Talents Initiative. That's a Chinese program designed to encourage foreign businessmen, scientists, and other experts to work on China's behalf, often secretly. The explicit goal is to obtain Western technology and research for China's own use, so they can surpass us, which they are. Last month, Harvard chemistry professor Charles Lieber, the head of the department, was arrested for hiding his work on behalf of China. In effect, Lieber was working as a spy.
So we have people in our own cabinet, people in our own government that are working for the opposition. Okay? And just like you just heard him say, China knows what it's doing and it wants to surpass America. So for all you that's just out there, you know, playing your game, doing your social media runs or whatever, you possibly may have missed this. You may not have seen the fact that China's trying to take over America. But I'm now letting you know that that's a news topic. The reason I bring that to you is if China takes over America, eventually they're not taking over America just for bragging rights. They want resources. So that means that they'll eventually come over here and occupy or invade and start taking stuff. Okay? Now, just in case you may think that's far-fetched, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in an array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O you destroyers of my heritage, because you are grown fat as a heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Okay? Now, let me break that down for you, for all those people that say, you're reading the white man's book. You're reading the Bible. The Bible's made by the white man. Who made the Bible? Okay? Now look, this isn't the Oxford edition. This is the regular King James. Now, let me break this down for you. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. If you ask the right scholars or people that actually read the Bible, in fact, you can even go into I watched this movie the other day, The Devil's Advocate, with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves, and there was a scene in it where Keanu was talking to his mother, and they was in Florida. He was talking about how he was moving to New York, and she was like, "Oh, you're moving to Babylon." You're moving to Babylon, baby. Either way, my belief is America is Babylon. But there's people out there that have the belief that maybe New York could just be Babylon. All right? But as it says, I will raise to cause to come up against America or New York an assembly. An assembly is a gathering. A gathering. I can't use it right here on the tablet, but anytime you need to, go do your definition and check out what an assembly is. It's a gathering of great nations from the North Country. Wow. From the North Country? That's what it says. It says it right here in the Bible. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. Okay? An assembly of great nations, and they shall set themselves in an array against her. Oh, God. Hold on. Now, that one, definition of array.
As a noun, it means an impressive display or range of a particular type of thing. Do you want to hear the next one?
No. if you seen it, hold on, I'm gonna do it again one more time. Definition of array.
Good morning.
Definition of array. Well, it's not coming back up. Something wrong. Either way, it's a formation of troops. It just said it. It just said it. So whenever you want to do your own research, you can check it out. That's what the Bible was talking about. It's not talking about a strip over there next to Syria or Iran, okay? Because then they would actually have to have arrows. Check this out. They shall set themselves in a formation against her. From there she will be taken. She will be destroyed. Babylon, America, New York, whatever you want to call it, okay? Their arrows, what arrows? Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Their arrows are not talking about bow and arrow. Could you imagine a whole bunch of troops shooting an arrow at Babylon or just shooting arrows? When they shoot their arrows, they usually have a target. So that lets you know that the arrows that they're talking about are missiles. That's what it would look like in the air. An arrow, right? None shall return in vain, which means that they hit their trajectory points. They hit where they're supposed to hit. Now, you may say, well, why would that happen? Because you were glad. Glad about what? Racism. That's pride. You're proud. You're saying, you know what? I'm not giving up my privilege. I'm not giving up none of that. Because you were glad. Because you rejoiced. Oh, you destroyers of my heritage. It's right there. That's Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 11. Okay? Okay? Now, black people are not trying to destroy nobody's heritage. When they go to church, they have no problem putting up a Caucasian Jesus. There's no problems with that. So that's where I'm saying, where am I racist? I'm just speaking to you and telling you the stuff that I'm seeing. Am I racist for that? Why would I be racist? I'm letting you know what the Bible says. Now, if it's up to you whether you believe the Bible or not, but I'm letting you know now these things are befalling the planet. I didn't make this. I didn't make this news. I didn't make the Bible. I just linked it. That's all I did. I linked the issues that we're having going on upon the planet with what's going on. Okay? So now, as we're taking our money and we're helping build China's infrastructure, okay? China has infiltrated major U.S. institutions. I didn't make that. That's not me. I didn't do that, okay? Wait, what? All right. You know what? At this point in time, if you don't think that Russia and China's been working together for years for this particular moment, hey, go crack yourself a Corona, okay? Go get yourself a vape. I don't know. Do something.
But his case isn't special. The entire sleazy academic world, and it's one of the sleaziest, is addicted to Chinese money. Harvard and Yale both stand accused of hiding hundreds of millions in donations from payments from foreign countries. Needless to say, China is one of the top contributors. Recently, the Texas A&M University system tried to gauge how many of its faculty were getting Chinese money. More than 100 of them had been recruited, it turns out, but only 5 had reported their work for a hostile foreign government. How many were indicted? You guess. Oh, yeah, 0. Now, Chinese officials aren't paying these academics.
Now, see, I'm going to let y'all do the rest of the research on that, okay? But that's just one. That's a war. The reason that that's a war is because they're taking our finance. But they've been doing that for years. Everything's made in China. We have to pay them off for imports, okay? I'm pretty sure we got to pay them off for exports as well, okay? So now we're pretty much paying them off for exports. The imports is coming from their country. But with this type of stuff going down, even if they're paying us for our imports and we don't have to pay them for exports, they're still paying for these people in the major institutions. So that means that they're still paying in some for the export, but they control it. They're controlling the whole board. All right. Okay. I'm paranoid. I know what you're saying. And look at this ditz. Oh, please, look at this. This
incline's going high today.
Okay. Hold on.
Woo, we're burning calories now.
The higher.
This is live.
It has been up there in the sky. And
hold on. This is live. Look, this is the constant stuff. All right. Now you can say, oh, you're living in fear. You could say they just want us to fear, the government or the news, the media, or whatever you want. They just want us to fear. But these are reality. This is reality happening right in front of you. So it doesn't matter what they want us to do. It matters what's actually happening, what's actually occurring, right? That's what I would think. But I just wanted to show you, this is because you were glad, because you rejoiced, all right? As we have a goddamn epidemic. Well, no, it's not even an epidemic at this point. We're now in the midst of a pandemic. Some people say outbreak, but in the beginning they were saying epidemic. Then it went from epidemic to outbreak, and it's slowly rising to a pandemic. Okay, so now, and whenever you need to find out the definition of these words, you can do them freely in your own time. Okay, but each level is different, all right? But look at this person.
In view for billions of years, but nobody seems to have thought of its earning potential until now. A canny Spanish woman from Galicia, a sun-drenched region on the border with Spain and Portugal, has decided that she owns the star and has the registration papers to prove it. Angeles Duran, 49, says that the sun officially belongs to her now, having had the celestial body registered in her name at a local notary office. Ms. Duran told the online edition of Daily El Mundo she took the step in September after reading about an American man who had registered himself as the owner of the moon and most planets in our solar system.
Okay. That's what I wanted to stop right there for. That's what you need to hear. There's a man, an American man, that went somewhere and put his name down and now claims to own the planets. You see? Do you see? So, not only can anybody do whatever they want at this point in time, live whatever they want, but people are actually claiming places that they've never been. You could say I'm crazy. I'm going to call you crazy for calling me crazy, because this is crazy, okay? So if you're calling me crazy for seeing this and saying that this is crazy, then I'm going to look at you as crazy for trying to defend this, all right? You're cool? That's actually cool? Wait a minute. So if that's the case, I may as well claim a dinosaur that I never even interacted with. I can say all T-Rexes are my pets. All right? Hold on. There's legislation.
There is an internet have the celestial body registered in her name at a local notary office. Ms. Duran told the online edition of Daily El Mundo she took the step in September after reading about an American man who had registered himself as the owner of the moon and most planets in our solar system. There is an international agreement which states that no country may claim ownership of a planet or star, but it says nothing about individuals, she added. There is no snag. I backed my claim legally. I am not stupid. I know the law. I did it, but anyone else could have done it.
So artificial stuff has to be removed from the planet because people are starting to go really psychotic at this point. Psychotic. You know, you never touch the sun. How are you going to own the sun? And then I'm not stupid. I know the law. As if the sun is within legal rights to be owned. Okay? So that's why that's how bad the morale and the intellect of this society has become. Due to that, now we have a whole bunch of people living artificial lifestyles telling you that it's okay. Okay? Forcing you to... I believe that it's promoted from up top or higher ups due to the fact that they know what time we're in. Since they know we're in a cataclysmic age, or an ELE can pop at any time, they say, hey, love who you want. Do what you want to do. Just don't procreate. Don't start procreating. And in fact, I think that now with this virus, how many people are actually get a little closer? Don't be shy. How many people's actually getting closer? Yo, how many people? How many people sitting there saying, you know what? You may potentially be a contagion, but I'll have a child with you. This is like the end of the world. May as well. This is it. This is it. Remember Michael Jackson? This is it. What are you going to do with this? Huh? What are you going to do with it? There's somebody that owns the sun. Okay? Somebody claiming that they own the sun. There's an uncurable disease. There's locusts swarming the planet. Swarming. They're swarming the planet, or a quarter of the planet. Okay? All right. A quarter of the planet is burning. Okay? And look at the sun. The sun is like I don't know if it's... Now, I'm pretty sure some of y'all will say it's the videos you're watching, or maybe you're just like following, you're believing everything you see. But from my recollection, from my memory, when I was younger, the sun wasn't shining as bright as it is now. I don't remember that happening like that. And someone told me, you don't understand cycles. Well, the sun has cycles. And there's two. There's grand solar maximum and grand solar minimum. Now, I'm figuring when I was younger, maybe it was in minimum. But as I see now, with them, the climate change and we're breathing too much, I can almost assure you, it's not CO2 that's warming up the planet. Now, I don't know why they're actually spreading that goddamn story. It could possibly be for the depopulation agenda, but I tend to look at that fireball in the sky as what gives us our heat, because it's goddamn common knowledge that when the sun goes away, it gets colder. Okay, it'll be a 90-degree day, and then once the sun goes down, the night turns to like 70 or 60 degrees. Common sense. So we know that it's the sun that's actually changing the temperature on the planet. I don't know why the scientists or whoever the heck they are in their labs are sitting there trying to say it's CO2. We have too many factories and cars going and people breathing. And there was this one theory that somebody was saying that they need to eat babies. Eat babies. Okay? That you can actually type that into YouTube and somebody's actually going to stand up and start yelling, eat babies. Because we're producing too much carbon dioxide, they believe. But this is what's going on upon the planet. So as I read to you the Bible and I tell you that we're at the end of the Bible, or we're in the last chapter, or we're like close to the end of the book, I don't see where people are sitting there saying, there's no God and you're crazy and all kinds of crazy stuff that they're saying. There's just like extreme amounts of stuff happening upon the planet right now. Carson Tucker just told you that America's going through some turbulent times at this moment. So, and that's just America. Over there on the other side, they already went through their riots. They're already going through craziness. All right. So at this point in time, if you don't think that there's an actual creator, this lady, I don't believe she thinks that there's a creator. I don't think there's no way in heck that she could believe that there's a creator, because